Hello there, Geminis. This is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth. I am back for your mid-December 2014 Tarot Horoscope. This is for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in Gemini. I actually started recording this video, then I had to stop it for a minute. I got a call, so I'm starting over again. So anyways, it's actually better because the spread that I was doing, it wasn't quite vibing with me. So you guys got a second chance, which, it's totally a Gemini thing because it's all about the two, right? First and second chances. So a couple of updates. I have been traveling, trying to find a place to live, and I finally found one, which is awesome. Today I found one. So tomorrow I move into my new place. Right now I'm at a hotel, as you can see. And I'm kind of in the Christmas vibe with my antlers. I don't have a tree set up, and I don't, I'm not really spending any time with family or anything like that. I would like to make some gingerbread cookies this holiday, and I would like to drink like a whole thing of eggnog and get really sick. That's my plan. I don't really do, I don't really do the traditional stuff. Maybe eventually I will, once I find a hot man. By the way, Geminis, and I've been telling everybody this, all the hot guys are in Ellensburg, Washington. That's where I am right now, and they're all here. I can't tell you. I see a hot guy like every 15 seconds. It's unbelievable, actually. So, hot girls, too, for the guys. This is throwing you guys a bone. Gemini guys like ladies. You like to sample the buffet. And the buffet is here, I'm telling you. All of them are gorgeous. They're all young. They're all beautiful. They all could be models. I've never seen anything like it. But it's a great town. And I really do like, I'm really vibing it here. It's a much higher vibration. I mean, it's very, very beautiful. You've got the mountains every day, just with the mist, and they're blue, and it's just gorgeous, So that's a little bit of update for you guys. I am working with this little rock. It doesn't like to be called a rock. It likes to be called a gemstone. It's boitroidal agate. I can't even say it. Boitroidal agate. And the back of it looks sort of like a shell. It doesn't even really look like a stone. But anyways, I'm able to communicate with this stone, this rock. Who would have thought that would have been possible for me? 20 years ago, I would never have believed it that I would be able to do this, but I am. So I'm adding it into what I'm doing. And if I get any messages that come through from the critter, that's what I call it, because I feel like it's alive. And then I will share those with you. And then the other thing is I've completed my deck. My deck now has both upright and reversal cards, reversal messages. Some cards are what I call a double yes, and some cards are what I call a double no, and some cards are a no upright and a yes reversed, or it could be a yes upright or a no reverse. So this is a really unusual thing. It's kind of my own thing, and I think you guys will really like it. So there's that. Then I'm also going to be doing the 2015 yearly overview, okay? It's a special kind of reading that I'm going to be doing for people who want to get an idea of what their 2015 is going to be like. It's $250. It's 2 hours, okay? Why go through each month, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, blah, blah, and to get the whole picture, okay? It's very intensive. And I'm offering it to people for $250. You feel free to email me. I am still doing private readings, so if you haven't had a reading yet and you'd love to have one, just feel free to email me, and I'll send you some dates and times that I'm available, and we can schedule you. Yeah, that's the majority of my updates. So let's just roll out a spread here before we get too far into it. Let's see what's up for you guys. Now, this is going to be like the next 2 weeks. And this also has a little bit of the past in there too. It's just kind of an update. Okay. So, you guys right now, and I got this actually in the spread that I did before I had to stop my video, is very light. It's light blue, actually. It's really cool. The energy you guys have is light blue, and it's quite beautiful. It's, despite any negativity, there's just a lot of positive things that are happening. Even if you're not responding to them really well, that's just my vibe. Your energy is really light. I like to see that. That's very good. So give yourself a little pat on the back for that. That's quite amazing. I feel like some of you are, you're all very special, but some of you are extraordinary, and some of you have unique skills and abilities. And I feel like this is psychic stuff too. I mean, if you don't have a deck of tarot cards, it's time to go get one. If you've never considered signing up for any kind of spirituality classes or groups or anything like that, it's time to do that. It's time to really start getting into that zone, into that vibe. I think it would be really good for you. So at the heart of everything, you got the girl. I think this is the breakup card, because this is what happens when somebody breaks up with you. You go into your bed, you crawl into your bed, and you cry for like 2 days. Okay, and this is what's happening to this girl. She's crying. She's in her bed or on this balcony, and she feels really alone. She feels really lonely and really sad and just like very depressed. And she has friends, and the natural world loves her, but she doesn't feel like she has friends, okay? That's the Five of Pentacles. And if she were to look up, and if she was to be positive, she'd see that there's light coming in the window, and there is hope. There are things to be hopeful about. But right now, she doesn't really feel that. And so I feel like this is you at the heart of everything. You know, you've gone through either a breakup or something's making you really sad. What's crowning you right now, actually, let's talk about this, because the two really are very similar. And this to me is what I would call a brick. Two cards that are very similar, that just, it's sort of like, if a train was on a track, the train is just going very straight, it's not veering off, it's not changing directions, the energy isn't really changing very much. So this to me means that the track that you're on is sadness and loneliness, okay? What's crowning you can also be, I think of it as wallowing in sadness, but it's also being very disconnected. You can see they're both single females that are basically looking down and in this kind of solitary, sad, or somber type headspace, an emotional space. And there's a lot of emotions here. Gemini, if you're a Gemini guy, you're dealing with a Pisces female, okay? That's my feeling. If you're a Gemini female, this is you. You could also be dealing with a Pisces female as well. Those of you who are in a relationship or have a partner with a female and you're female, that could be you. But if you're single, I feel like also it could just be this time of very much introspection and solitude and needing your own space and needing to figure out your emotions. And you need to kind of snap out of it, because if you continue on this very kind of depressed, lost state, it's gonna be harder to kind of recover and re-enter the world, because the world is, it's sort of like the world's an abrasive place to you right now, and you're very soft and you're very mellow, and every time it's like you go out, you get hurt, or every time you're in a relationship, you get hurt, or every date you go on, if you get hurt, and so you're very sensitive to it, and you've just kind of gotten to a point where you're just like, I've had enough. I just want my own alone time. I don't want to deal with anybody. I don't deal with anything that's going on. Gemini guys, you might not dealing with Pisces, you may just be dealing with a very emotional female. I'm going to just say also, it could be a Cancer and it could be a Scorpio you're dealing with. This could be your partner. Gemini guys, if you're married, if you have a partner, I feel like this could be your partner who has been in this very emotional, sensitive, they're going through this period of their life that's very like hyper emotional, hypersensitive, waterworks sense. But okay, so if you're not a Gemini guy, you're a Gemini girl, and this is you, and you're kind of going through this time, you really need to snap out of it. You need to come out of it and you need to enter the world again, because the longer you wait to do that, the longer you prolong that, it's going to make it harder once you finally do re-enter society, and go out into the world. It's just, that would be my suggestion. The critter says you need to love yourself too. You need to do nice things for yourself and treat yourself nice. Even if you feel like nobody else does, you still need to love you. Whatever that takes, really, to make yourself happy, to cheer yourself up. And what's crossing you was the reverse of the Eight of Swords. And the reverse is, I call this the Aretha Franklin card. And of course, this is unique. This is a unique card, right? So this is the Aretha Franklin card. It says freedom, exclamation point. No longer having restrictions, depression lifts, to be free to make your own decisions. I feel like because you're sad here, and what's crossing you is the depression lifting, and then what's crowning you is the depression again, is you being kind of on a roller coaster. You having highs and lows, maybe, you're free of a relationship. You broke up with someone, you're free of a relationship, but at the same time you miss that person. And you're kind of pining after them. You're wallowing in your sadness and you're not moving on. You're just kind of staying in that sad, I just broke up with someone's space, and you really need to move on because you need to let it go. You need to accept that maybe it's not meant to be, that relationship's not meant to be. Or maybe this period in your life, you need to embrace your freedom and think of it as, okay, you're free to do what you want, and nothing is going to get in your way, Embrace your freedom, basically. The foundation is peace and contentment, okay? So, it's memories of positive things and taking a break. In the past, it's a good foundation, although I don't want to be hard on you, Gemini, but I feel like what's coming through really strongly is like, it's almost sort of like you really don't, you don't really want to be working. You want to just be free of responsibilities. And I feel like what happened is that kind of was projected into your relationship, and you broke up with someone, maybe because you felt restrictions there as well. And now you like your freedom, but there was a cost to it, But I feel like overall, this lack of wanting to work, it's like almost like an inherent, I feel like it's almost laziness. And I hate to say that, but that's what's coming through to me, Gemini. It's almost just like, it could be one of two things. It could be that you are really, really ill, or something's happened to you. You're recovering from an injury or something where you're in bed, and you've been in bed for quite some time, and you're still in bed, and you're still disconnected from the world and you're still in that space. It could also be that you broke up with someone and that you're still in that space because you're pining and you're wallowing and you miss them and did you do the right thing and you're questioning. Or it could just be that somehow, some way, you've gotten into the train of thinking of not wanting to be empowered. You kind of disempowered yourself. You've unplugged, and now you're just kind of in the state of wanting to do nothing. And you're kind of in a state of, self-pity, self-hatred and self-pity at the same time. And it's important for you to embrace your freedom, but it's also important for you to, put your big girl panties on. Put your big girl panties on and go out there and become who you're supposed to be. You can't, pull the covers over your head and pretend the world doesn't exist. It just doesn't, life doesn't really work that way. Maybe for a day or a week or a month, maybe at the most, but I feel like this has been going on for a long time. This wanting to take a break, this wanting to actually not be working, not to have responsibilities. And I feel like you need to, there's this part in Anne of Green Gables, which I always quote Anne of Green Gables. I don't know what's wrong with me. I watched it so many times. But anyways, Anne is dating this guy named Morgan. And his mother, who's like, 75 years old, or maybe 85, I don't remember, is taking care of his daughter, when he's just like working and can't be bothered with her, and it hurts his daughter very much that, her father is uninterested in her life and all this stuff. But anyways, the mother is like, she has this big fight with Morgan, and she's like, Morgan, you need to face up to your responsibilities and behave like a man, she said, and that's the message here for you. And I'm not saying like, Gemini, you need to behave like a man, a real man. No. It's not like that. It's just that you need to face your responsibilities. You need to behave like an adult. And I feel like it's difficult for Gemini to want to behave like an adult because they have an inherent childlike quality about them. Inherently, it's a sweet, childlike tenderness, innocence, that when it comes in contact with this very hard, abrasive world that we live in, it's just Geminis really, they just crumple. They can't, they wilt, they're like the wilted flower, they just can't quite, they don't have that power that maybe one of the fire signs has, or the strength that maybe a Capricorn has, or it's like that inner determination, that inner strength that Aquarius has. It's more just, the Geminis I feel like are more cottony, they're just like cotton. They're just very, like a pillow, they're squeezable and moldable, and they just don't they don't really stand much of a chance compared to the hard concrete world we live in. I don't see it. And so the thing is I feel like Gemini, you've become despondent and despaired, and when you really do need to try harder and just accept that, okay, you need to deal with things. You need to face your responsibilities. You need to pay your bills. You need to act like an adult, even though you still have that inherent childlike quality, which everybody loves and adores. We're not saying to get rid of that. We're just saying to pay some of your bills, to get off the couch, to go out into the world and face it and be like, okay, world, bring it on. You want a piece of me? Something like that. Okay, so in the recent past, you were very much into music, and I think you got this card before. So a lot of you maybe repeat, what people are watching. I think of it as the other star card. There's one star card that's, literally the heavens, the stars in the sky. The star that you wish on, This is the star that you are. This is the inner star. You know, this is also the outer star. This is this movie star or music star. To being, you know, being famous. But it's also coming into your own power. It's looking at your reflection and seeing something, seeing your worth, seeing your value. Maybe it was in the past wanting to go into a career in music. Maybe, you know, it didn't happen, and so what's crowning you is this sort of depression that, you know, it's not really going your way, or you're not really getting what you want out of life, or maybe you're working too hard and all you really want to do is your music. Maybe that's the thing, you know, but you need to start saying no and become empowered to all the things you don't want to do and start saying yes to do all the things you do want to do, you know. That's the challenge. You know, Geminis, they have a difficult time saying no, setting boundaries. You know, you need to learn how to set boundaries. And what's right around the corner is the Magician card. This is a young man, or it can be a young woman too, but I think of it as more a young man, who is a dentist, someone who is a great mechanic, good with their hands. I think of a plumber or a carpenter or electrician, or somebody who's like a mover and shaker, you know. And this is somebody you know, Gemini. It could be also you, because you may have like a Capricorn ascendant, or you may have like a Capricorn sun or moon. And you may have been kind of on a quest, your own personal like journey or quest to, I guess, to either find, I feel like to maybe find a new career, or to find a fulfilling relationship. Critter says to find love. You're looking for love. So those of you who have been on this journey, the message of this card generally is just to follow the signs, you know. There are signs and symbols, and I would say, Gemini, because you like, you know, reading and writing, you know, you like the library. I would say go to the library, see if you can find a book on symbols, okay, signs, symbols, whether it's numbers or whether it's, you know, I'm thinking of that movie, The Da Vinci Code. You know, somebody who's like really good at like ancient symbols and things like that. I think you'd really get into that. And maybe you already are into all that. Numerology is coming to me too. Some of you like are really good with numbers and you don't even know it. Some of you are like, they would call them like bird watchers. So I'm really into birds and like bird watching. Or it's more just you need to actually get a book on birds and the kinds of birds, because these things. So it's sort of like if you read up on signs and symbols, and you read up on birds and the types of birds that are out there and all about birds and this and that. Then when you go out and you see a certain bird, it'll be a sign. Oh, you'll know what that means, you know. Oh, you know, it's the chickadee. Oh, that's the goldfinch. Oh, it's the crow. Oh, you'll just kind of know. For me, there's all these like these swallows. I think they're swallows, but they're like they go in like groups, you know, and through Wyoming and even in Montana I saw them a little bit, but more Wyoming and Washington State, even in Idaho. As I'd be driving, these birds would kind of like swarm. And every time they swarmed, I would always see hearts in the sky. They'd always like be hearts. And to me, it's a sign, you know, it's a sign that the angels are looking out for me, that the birds are kind of guiding me to where I need to be. They're saying, hey, you know, good luck on your journey. You know, we wish you well. To me, that's that message, you know. But it's important for you to start thinking about signs and thinking about how the direction in your life would be easier if you could understand what those signs meant and if you kind of were looking out for them. Okay, so this other card, this is emotionally, you are, I feel like very in tune with this is the Queen of Cups. This is someone who's very much in tune with heaven and the earth. They're a medium, they're psychic, they're connected to the next several levels. And to me, this could be someone that you're in love with too. This could be your wife, this could be your partner. I think of her as like, I feel like mainly she's a Taurus or a Scorpio, but she could also be any of the other signs. She's got the fire energy, she's got the earth energy, she's got this water energy. But she's a very deep person, and she's very spiritual. And I feel like you either are in love with this person, she's very close to you if you're a Gemini guy, or if you're a Gemini girl. I feel like this is, like, emotionally, you're very in tune with others. And you pick up on what others say, and maybe others come to you for advice, and they talk to you about their problems, and you're kind of like a sponge to others' problems and others' things, and you're very in tune with your feelings, basically. And what's coming towards you is this interesting Knight of Wands, and I do not feel like this is you at all. Although, again, you could have some kind of Capricorn, Aries, Leo in your chart. And this could be just the energy coming in from the outside saying, okay, you need to sort of be a little bit more like this. This is serious fire energy. And like I was saying, Geminis are very cottony and very like pillowy, and they're just very, the term is like spineless, basically. Don't take it the wrong way, guys. You're like silly putty, or you're like the Play-Doh, you know, of the universe. And we need that. It's the glue that keeps things together. So I always think of Geminis as the best organizers for a party, the best people to bring people together, because they are like the glue that keeps people together. If we didn't have Geminis, things would just fall apart. They just fall apart, because Geminis know how to put things together, because they're the two, right? They know how to naturally put things together. They can put 2 and 2 together. They're good at the numbers. That's literally 2 and 2 together. They're good at numbers. They add things up. They're very calculative. Yeah, they're just the glue. You're like glue, Gemini. So for me, this is not you. This is some fiery person that comes into your life, or is about to come into your life. And they might shake things up a bit. They're aggressive. They're a little bit overconfident. This is the Joan of Arc or the Richard the Lionhearted. They have a big heart. And they're all heart, but they're reckless. They're not paying attention to where they're going. They will trample you, Gemini, in 15.0 seconds. Don't let them intimidate you. If you're dealing with I feel like you're dealing with a strong Aries male or strong Aries. I feel like it's even a strong Aries female for some of you. You need to believe in yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself, Gemini. I think that Geminis need to work on their self-confidence, too. That's important. And then your attitude is actually a really amazing card. It's one of my favorites, my new favorite. It's the King of Pentacles, but the King of Pentacles in reverse. And the King of Pentacles doesn't really have a reverse. It's not a negative. You can't go wrong with the King of Pentacles or even the Queen of Pentacles, both of them. The type of people that on their worst days, they're still amazingly good. On their worst days, they're still the person that you want to be married to. You're the still person that has been through things in life that can offer so much to so many people and can help so many people. And that's what this is. This is a very good man who dedicates his life to helping others. This is a real humanitarian, someone that there's no corruption here. There never would be. There never could be. I feel like this is who you really aspire to be. You know, this is who you want to be. This is like your soul. This is what your soul wants you to become. And I feel like right now you're dragged down by not wanting to be responsible, not wanting to pay the bills, not wanting to have to go to work. You know, boo-hoo is me. And that's okay for a time. But after that, I feel like this is who you really want to become. And I feel like the struggle is, how do you get there? You know, what are you going to do to get there, Gemini? That's the question. And the critter is saying, start with charity work. That's where you need to start. Any kind of charity work. Even if, like, you're not donating your house to charity, maybe working for a charity organization, starting to raise some money. Like I said, Geminis are like the glue. So I feel like Geminis, you make really good salespeople because you're able to, I feel like you're able to gather and to do the sales pitch, you know, seamlessly, just seamlessly, naturally. Interestingly, you've got, you know, it's because you've got two sides to you, you know. You've got the free side, the Aretha Franklin freedom card, right, which is what's crossing you. And then you have this trapped energy that's the outcome, which I don't like because I feel like maybe it's that you're going back and forth, but I feel like you've freed yourself in some way from restrictions, or maybe you want to free yourself from restrictions. You're like, I'm done with responsibility. I'm getting out of here. But then you chicken out at the last minute. You go right back into being the slave. You go right back into being, you know, just very, like, overly humble and overly, like, pious and overly just like, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll take on all those files. Yes, I'll you know, run a marathon for you. Yes, I will fly to the moon and back. And yes, I'll you know, be the slave. You know, you're bowing down, you know, to your master, you know. And that it's weird because you've got this good Capricorn energy here in the Magician, which is right around the corner, which is what you don't see coming, okay? But then you've got this bad Capricorn energy here, okay? And the bad Capricorn energy is that the devil, that materialistic, slave to money, part of everyone, but it's also a person. It could be a person that you're in a relationship with. So for some of you Geminis, I feel like you're in a relationship where, well, some of you Geminis, you broke up with someone. That's clear to me. You broke up with someone and you're upset and you're wallowing in sadness and you still are not quite over it yet. Okay, you're trying to. But you're free, and so you're enjoying your freedom in some ways. But you're still trying to find Mr. Right, and you're still trying to figure out what to do with your life, and you still don't really want to do anything. You just don't want responsibilities. You don't want to get off the couch. You don't want to stop watching TV. You just want to stay there forever. But you can't. You have to eventually get off the couch and do something. And then there's the other ones that are, they are working, and they're able to get a lot of things done, you know, and they are aspiring to be a real true humanitarian. They are really aspiring to do what their soul's purpose is. But they have some conflict with this King of Wands person who comes in, this fire energy person. They have some conflict there. You know, they get trampled on. They get shit on, you know, and they take it. The Gemini takes it, you know. And instead of standing up for themselves, they become their slave. The Capricorn energy, I feel like in a work situation, you go right back to maybe doing what you were doing before. Maybe you decide to quit your job and you're just like, I've had it, you know, and you walk out. Maybe you just literally get up from your desk and you leave. But you go right back the next day because for some reason they call you and they say, you know, please come back. Don't be upset. It's all going to be okay. And you're like, okay, fine. I won't leave. Just letting it go. And you're back to being the slave to the money again. And then there's the people that are really in a relationship with someone who they should have gotten out of the relationship with. It's not really work related. It's just relationship related, you know. Maybe they broke up with someone and got back together, you know. I feel like in the end, Gemini, you got back together, but it's not a positive getting back together. It's not you're going to live happily ever after. It's no, you're a slave to them, and they've got power over you, and your heart is in their hands. You're their you're their puppet. It's like I watch this show all the time, which is it's like Once Upon a Time. Captain Hook, Colin O'Donoghue, my crush. Okay, he's the Dark One's puppet. Because the Dark One has his heart. So he does whatever the Dark One wants. And the Gemini naturally is a good puppet, okay? Because the Gemini doesn't really know how to say no. And they don't really know how to use that backbone that they all have. But they just don't use. See, because, okay, so the Gemini is the twins. And in my mind, the Gemini is, the twins that are very young. But as they get older, they do start to mature. And as these twins, parts of them start to become older, they become stronger. So I feel like as a Gemini ages, it's like a fine wine. They age well, they mature well over time. And they don't realize that those two parts of them have also matured. And if they actually did decide to merge, okay, and if they made a decision and stepped up to the plate to their responsibilities, they'd be actually a lot stronger than a lot of people because they have the two parts, that strong, thing, two elements that kind of solidify on the inside, which would create a backbone for them. So it's just sort of like one of those things that Gemini really needs to make up its mind that it's going to put its foot down and say, no, I'm not going to take shit no more. Goodbye. Peace out. And if it has to do with more finances, then it's time for your relationship, Gemini, to grow in the way of money. Your relationship to money needs to become more like, you're the channel for the money, you're the vessel for the money, and less like, it's slave, like you're just like a slave to money, like you'll do anything for money. Money is what, the end goal is, or the money is all that you really want, It's switching your perspective. But I am going to pull a final card because I don't like leaving off on the double or anything negative like that, because it's just, it would annoy me if I was watching this video. So, okay, so I feel like the other card that I pull is actually the reverse of Temperance, okay? And Temperance for me is what I call 50-50 emotions, a 50-50 day. Like half your day is good, the other half is bad. Half of you wants to do something, the other half of you doesn't. To me, this is very Gemini-like, the two sides, trying to come together, figure things out. The reverse of Temperance is this. So it's sort of like it's sort of like she's holding this ball here. And in my mind, when the card is in reverse, it's like Pandora's box is opened and all this stuff is coming out, And Gemini is just letting it all out because they're pissed off, And I wrote at the top of this, injustice, a messy divorce, a terrible legal battle, to be really upset, hot and cold, to need time to recover after a fight, and to calm down. So the devil, the outcome here, I feel like the end of December, January, this may even carry on over into February, but I really hope not for your sake. But all legal stuff takes a long time, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like for these two to be the outcome, it makes sense. Because in order for this girl to not be enslaved any longer, she needs to either break up or get a divorce or, do her own thing. Stand up to this person and take her heart back and say, no, you can't do that. Stand in her power. I think one of the comments on my channel was, How do you break free? Well, you say no. You say no. You say, no, I'm not going to take this anymore. No, I want better for myself. No, I'm going to not do that anymore. You know, that's not what's best for me. So I feel like this would be, for a lot of you, where things go is a divorce. But it may also not be. It may be more just having, you know, getting into a fight and needing to calm down. And I think there's a lot of difficult relationship issues, you know, here the last 2 weeks of December. A lot of relationship stuff. And this may have been going on, you know, since the beginning of December or even before that. Just challenging issues in relationships. Because at one point, this Eight of Swords was upright. And this swan felt stuck. And this dark cloud was overhead. And she didn't feel, or he didn't feel like there was any hope. Like no matter what he or she did, it was gonna suck no matter what, you know? But upside down, it's being freed from that. But I mean, it's not so long ago that it was that way. So I feel like that's in a relationship. It's feeling stuck in a relationship, feeling like no matter what you do is good enough. And that builds resentment, and that builds sort of like an imbalance in a relationship, which ultimately leads to being really, really upset, or, you know, breaking free of a relationship that's no longer serving you. Some of you are going, no, I don't want to get a divorce. I couldn't possibly get a divorce. But the critter is saying you need to. Whether you want to or not. It's what's best for you. Some of you who are single that aren't dealing with any of that stuff are just emotionally just kind of going a little bit out of control. You're a little bit kind of going like you're having really like, you know, strong reactions to things, which Gemini normally contains things, but you may be just really pissed off at somebody, and just the fire, there's a little bit of fire that comes out of you, you know, flares out of your nostrils, or, you know, you get really upset, you find yourself, you know, you want to cry all the time, you know, you just can't quite contain it. It's just like, it's sort of just eruptive. To me, it's eruptive because you've been containing it for so long that it's sort of like I feel like Gemini, December is a real breaking point for you. And it literally is a time where you need to break out of a relationship that you're in. This may be your relationship to money. This may be your relationship to a person, okay? Those of you who are single, I feel like you have a struggle with wanting more money than you have. And it's like you're continuously just working, and I feel like you've lost sight of the good things in life, the good stuff, the real good stuff. But I think that's all that I'm really getting for right now for you guys. And this video has gone on for quite some time, so I'm going to end it here. Have a wonderful Christmas and happy holidays, and you know, like I said, feel free to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com, if you'd like a private reading. I am available for those, and thank you again so much. I send you big hugs, big kisses, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care.